Hi, hello, and welcome back to another 4-way woodturning project. This time Mike proposed that we turn salt shaker without using any sort of a mechanism, so pretty much all wooden parts, and this should be really fun. Stay tuned. Oh, and let me show you real quick my early birthday present from my Nevenka. She's a good friend of ours, and look at this lovely shirt. She used my logo, let's say, or my signature for my first signature tool, and also on the back here. I really like how these turned out. I never actually thought about making t-shirts, but I'm actually thinking now, and let me know in the comments below if you are actually interested in buying my merch, let's say. Now, a little fun fact, I do actually have a sort of a plan, let's say, for turning SMOCK, but that's in the future, maybe early next year, but we'll see about that, what the future holds. So now let's get back to the video. Now, I call these funnel shakers. Now, the first example of these I actually saw from one of Kirk the Here's videos maybe 7-8 years ago. He calls them tornado shakers, I believe. Where the original idea came from, I don't know, but I would like to give a credit to original inventor, let's say. But it's actually quite simple and it works beautifully. Now, the ones that I've done usually went with sets of dinner plates or bowls, and customers really like sort of idea of having apple and pear shape shakers, and I've done a bunch of those. Not so much in the last couple of years, but before that a lot of these were made. And this time I want to do something a little bit different, but on the same principle in terms of how the condiments will go out. Now, this is a handheld bell, and the inspiration for this shape came from Gary Rance. He's a production turner from UK, and I believe that on his website you can also purchase full-size working plans for one of these, so you don't have to think about too much about the shape, proportions, or anything like that. Now, the way this works is you see this outline darkened portion, that's the bell. So the bell will be made from this chunk of olive wood, and the funnel here will be from this piece of yew that I have. These are all offcuts, and the handle will be from this sort of a rosewood, some sort of a kind, not sure exactly what it is. The way this works, or the way I'm going to do this, is just to turn a regular, let's say, goblet, which will have hole here, which will be threaded, so you can screw and unscrew the handle. It will be much easier to pour salt, let's say, from the top rather than from the bottom here. The funnel here will have, or actually the bell will have a small recess here, which then will locate the funnel here. It will be glued in place. Now, you would pour your salt in, and it will go into these crevices all the way 360 degrees, and that will fill up. And the way this works is you shake it up and down, and that will make the salt go up in this area and fall down into the funnel and out, or your pepper or whatever you put inside, sugar. So all of that can work in this situation here, so should be really fun. And first, what I'm going to do is make a bell. So nice even thickness. I need to leave myself enough thickness here for a little recess that will locate the funnel here, and then we'll move from there. So just a tiny bit of a split is left, but that should be okay. I'll just get this out a little bit more. So I can use more of the blank. First I want to make the outside shape of the bell. Half-inch wide skew. No particular reason. Now I'm looking this where it would be great to have it end, just in terms of proportions. That should be okay, I think. Yeah, that's looking as a decent bell. Now I don't want to thin it down too much in this area here. I still need to hollow it out. So that's for now. Okay, I'm pleased with that shape. Let's see, up to this line for now at least. And a spindle gouge with the back hollow cut. Okay, so that's the bulk of it out. That's pretty good thickness right from the start. Now I'll raise the tool rest and I'll use this asymmetric curved scraper. This is 19mm wide by 6mm thick. Now I will have to support because it is a little bit thinner. So it doesn't scream too much. I had to readjust the camera a little bit. It was in my way. So I feel the center lump. Nice and gently on the side. It's getting thin, so it wants to vibrate. Okay, that's much better. And now nice and clean pass, going nice and gently. Again, I'm supporting the outside so it doesn't rattle. Okay, here it's a little bit vibrating, so go even gently. Okay, that should be good enough for sanding. Such great pad. Now I'll only apply wax in these areas. I won't go inside. There's no point to have it on the inside. So only up to here. And I still need to make a recess here. A recess all done with a small skew, and it only has to be a few mils. It doesn't have to be too deep. Okay, that should be enough. Actually, what I'll do is part it off at an angle here, so I don't have to deal with all this when I reverse this. That's partially the outside, and the inside you can see it's done. Now the U-block goes in a chuck, back with the skew. Now this is the measurement of that little recess inside the bell, like that. Let's test that out. Okay, that's from the first try, and that's almost nicely balanced. Okay, that's, as you can see, runs nice and true, which is what you want. A 10 mil spindle gouge, and I'm just going to continue on the curve nice and gently. It does need sharpening. So nice and gently. Now ideally I could bring a tailstock, because I am holding on a really small reach. So just a tiny bit of a pressure. And now just continue on with the curve. Skew gouge. No particular reason why I use it here. I have it on the bench, so why not use it? Okay, I'm pleased with that shape. Little burnish marks here and there, but that will sand out, so part it off. A flat spot, small flat spot. That should be okay. Oh, hopefully I leave myself enough thickness here for the threads. We'll see. What I'm going to do is just sand this area. We'll find out soon enough. And polish it up. Small skew, and let's see. Oh, I have it maybe, I don't know, that's 3 mil, but let's see. Maybe it will be enough. A little chamfer, thread chaser, and let's just make sure I'm not rubbing the heel of the threads. Okay, so that should be okay. Ah. Yeah, not ideal, I gotta say. So a little tip for you, make sure you leave at least maybe 5 mil in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is bring the speed up and just remove that threads. I'll go slightly wider, like so. Okay, I think that's it. So that's done. So I have a thread on the top, the inside. So the bell was on the chuck like so. So I have exact measurement that I need for this funnel, and I think I have enough height as well. I think so. So that should be okay in order if I don't lose too much of the height here. So I have what I need, so all I have to do is just clean up this area and drill a through hole. Here 4 mil drill bit, and nice and steady. I want to have it as central as possible. Let's see, maybe make a little detail just for fun. So now I can start making cone shape. To fit more stuff inside, I'll make you can see heavily towards the bottom cove rather than cone shape itself. So hope that makes sense. If I go like so, you can see I can lose all this area, this space for condiments, so I undercut it heavily. I might even go a little bit more. Just want to double check how deep I need to leave. That's about right, maybe a bit more, a bit less actually. Something like that. A little bit easier. I'll try to grab it like so, if I can, with this chuck. It is just a light pressure, it doesn't need much. Now the hole is not that straight. Unfortunately, the drill bit did wander off a little bit. Now what I maybe should have done is drill halfway down and then from the top area here, but now it doesn't matter all that much. That's close enough in terms of how true it is, I think. A little bit more pressure. Marks here won't be pretty much visible because the chuck is in a perfect circle. That played out quite nicely. However, if it does have any marks, it's hidden in the recess. So the reason I'm going quite gently, I have a big lump on a really thin stem, so take your time. Now I can use a skew as well. Okay. And I'll taper this ever so slightly in. Maybe even more. That always helps catch the condiment. So now when I place this up against the chuck, I know I have another maybe 2-3 mil to go in, and that should be okay, I think. Let's see. So let's see how that looks. So that's a nice fit, and you can see how deep it is. And so yeah, I'm going to thin it down for another maybe 2-3 mil. Somewhere around here. Okay, that should be okay. Nice fit, and now this is quite good. So just to measure this so you know how low it is from the top, let's see. So that's around 7-8 mil from the top opening here. I think that should be okay. When the lid comes in, I don't want to have too far of the handle protruding in. I might have to trim this a little bit. So again, I had never done on a shape like this. I know nuances on a apple and pear shape, but not on this one here, but pretty much all the same. But for now, I won't glue this in. I want to make the handle first. Make it round. 19 mil skew, 3/4 inch. We'll see how it accepts the thread as well. And let's see how this will thread. Need to drop the rest down. Okay, that took thread quite nicely. The first two are not perfect, so I'll just take the bell and see how this goes. Yeah, that's perfect. From the first try. And I did not meant to do that. Believe me. So I don't need all that length of thread. Let's see, around here. I'll try to be as gentle as I can. And all of that is now waste. Now for the future, let's say I just want to check the threads if I'm not broken them. Nope, they are fine. Now for the future, let's say, what I would like to do is, since this is the first one, so I'll take all the nuances that I've noticed in this piece and try to make as stream of the production, let's say, as possible. Now what I'm doing here is just making a little cove. So that will also help out channel the condiments. Let's see, I think 1/3 bell, 2/3 handle should be a great proportion. So that is around here. So take that out. So that's a bead. Honestly, this is one ugly handle. I'm not sure what I was thinking here. Try to save this. What was I thinking? Since I have this thing here in the middle, trying to have the curve going underneath this bead. Again, I don't like the shape of this. Okay, that flows a little bit better, but not by much. It is what it is. little cleanup on the bead. Okay, much better. Again, a not ideal handle, but it is what it is. Oh, I meant to do a little ball at the end. Small skew. I'm not trying to push here on the end grain because that will bruise it, which then I have to sand it. So you can see just a tiny bit of tool marks and a little knob, which I can just pair off with the skew, and that's looking quite good. Just a touch up with the 320, and that's the handle. I think I managed to save it at the end. It's not that terribly looking, but it should be a little bit better in this area here. What I'm going to do off camera is just glue in this insert, and then I'm going to show you how this works. Let's fill it up. So I have here salt, and just get it maybe from this angle so you can actually see. Now this will be messy, doesn't matter. Like so. Make sure it's in, and you can see it's filled all the way up the sides. And make sure you don't have any salt on the threads, and just tighten the handle, and that's it. So now, as you can see, when I shake this side to side, nothing happens, but up and down, and look at this, just a few strokes and I have a lot of salt. Now if you have high blood pressure, that's probably not the best, but just I want to get the microphone close to the paper so you can hear how it falls down. Here's a nice plate. You should be able to see how these fall down. So again, nothing happens when you're just handling this like so, but when you shake it up and down, then you can see it falls down. Really, really lovely. Really nice and simple concept, and works really, really lovely. Super simple, and I really like the filling on the top, like so, rather than just filling from the bottom. That's an option as well. I've done that on my apple and pear shapes. You fill it up from the bottom, so it's enclosed system, let's say. It does take a little bit longer, but it can be done, so nothing wrong with that approach. But here we go. So hopefully you like my version of a salt shaker. I really like this kind of approach, let's say, or without any kind of metal or anything like that, just pure, clean, eco-friendly, let's say, wood on wood, and it works beautifully. Just a simple cone on the inside, as you saw, works just tremendously nice. for this kind of application. So I've done pepper, so pepper shaker and salt shaker and sugar. All those will work lovely. So it's just the matter or preference, let's say, the size of the hole on the bottom. Of course, make sure that the grain that you are using, so for the salt, it's fine. If it's bigger kind of chunks, then make sure you have a decent enough hole that can pass through. But overall, I'm quite pleased. Again, proportionally, I'm not so keen on this is a little bit too thick, a little bit too long of a handle, so this should be removed, this bead on top, and maybe slightly wider bell. But overall, for the first one, I'm really pleased how this one looks. So please don't forget to watch Sam, Mike and Richard's version as well. Links are in the video description. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.